In this video, we're going to break down Season 1, Episode 10 of the BoonDocks television series entitled The Itis, and conclude if the food Granddad used in this episode was harming or helping the people in the community. Before we get started on this historical breakdown, I just wanted to remind you, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm working on some new designs over at the Disriz Entertainment store. You see that new logo? Yeah, it's more where that came from. Remember, we still have a few of the 2022 grade fall designs on the store shelves. From tank tops to t-shirts to hoodies, we have it all. Special shout out to everyone that purchased some merch during the December 2022 sale. You helped me create some new designs for the spring and summer of 2023. If you would like to support the channel further and help with the funding of Disriz Entertainment, the link will be in the description. Now, let's get into it. To satisfy his need for soul food, Granddad enlists Ed Wuncler's aid at opening a restaurant. Huey is adamantly against it since he foresees harmful impacts on the community, and it eventually shuts down owing to ongoing litigation. Episode 10 of the BoonDocks on Adult Swim is titled The Itis. The program debuted on January 22, 2006, on the original airing date. To kick off the episode, Granddad prepares a lunch for the Dubois, Ed Wunclers, and his own family. Once Huey realizes that Granddad cooked the broccoli he was supposed to eat with pork, an argument between them ensues. Their disagreement is cut short by the arrival of their visitors. Sarah is placed in an embarrassing position when Riley says her peach pie looks like puke.
Hey everyone! I brought peach cobbler!
Ew, Miss Dubois, your peach cobbler look like throw up.
Boy!
It do, look! It look like throw up with peas in it. Miss Dubois, you been eating peas.
No,
Come
I
here,
haven't
what is
had-
wrong with you?
What's wrong with me? What's wrong with her? She the one who brought vomit over here in a Tupperware container.
That is not vomit. You just look like vomit. Now, apologize to Miss Dubois.
It's okay. Really.
Fine. Miss Dubois, I'm sorry your peach cobbler look like vomit with peas.
Damn it, boy!
Guys, please, we don't have to.
I don't care if you beat me, Granddad. I won't eat it. That is disgusting. It's completely uncalled for.
You'll eat it if I have to hold you down and shove it down your throat.
Really, I didn't mean for it to be...
I know what you tried to do. You tried to kill me. I hate you.
You are going to eat
I
that
don't want to eat
cobbler,
that
and you're
cobbler.
going to act like
I
you
don't want
like
to
it.
eat that cobbler.
Robert's pork swine delight, as he calls the unhealthy but delicious meals he makes, includes things like pig knuckles and chitlins, which are pig intestines. The cuisine is delicious, but it has the unfortunate side effect of making everyone at the table very sleepy. After finishing his meal, Ed Wuncler allows Granddad to open the restaurant before he passes out. Huey was left to clean the table by himself since he refused to eat anything except vegetables. Ed expresses his intention to purchase a health food shop near Meadowlark Park, and he soon invites Robert there to check it out. He immediately dismisses everyone who isn't an illegal immigrant and closes shop on all of his present customers. Though Huey is opposed to the concept because of the high sugar and fat content of the cuisine, Granddad's restaurant proves to be wildly successful, and as payback for losing one of his servers, Granddad hires Huey. Huey is persistent in his efforts to discourage new business and keep his present clientele from returning. Customers at Granddad's restaurant become more ravenous and frantic for more of his comfort food. Even when Riley passes out after eating his new dish to Luther, which consists of 2 big honey glazed donuts sandwiched in a pound of beef and coated in bacon strips, Granddad stubbornly refuses to be deterred by Huey's pleas. Grandpa nearly gets attacked for a Luther by a gorgeous client he met on opening night who has become heavy and sick as a result of eating at the restaurant, and the image of the area as a whole plummets. Granddad's eatery eventually closes after being sued by an irate diner. Back at the Freeman residence, now that Granddad knows the truth about the quality of food, he rotates the dinners he serves amongst his visitors. As the story progresses, we learn that Ed Wuncler's master goal all along was for the park to deteriorate so that he could buy it cheaply and transform it into something else. Trivia time. This is the only episode to get a TV 14 rating. Robert mentions to Wuncler that he didn't know the park was named after the late Meadowlark Lemon, a former Harlem Globetrotter and basketball icon. Wuncler makes the remark that he had never heard of Meadowlark Lemon. However, Meadowlark Lemon was still alive when the episode was filmed. She died in 2015. Only one episode avoids using the N-word throughout the whole series. Riley is the recipient of Granddad's belt. For the next 35 to 45 minutes per Granddad, no one should use the restroom or reference to the film Friday. The tune Straight Out of the Oven is used in this episode. Someone who is drawn to Robert and becomes dependent on his Luther burgers may be a reference to Randy, the assistant trailer park superintendent and trailer park boys, who engages in prostitution in exchange for cheeseburgers. This incident is symbolic of the spread of narcotics into new areas. By the episode's finale, it's clear that Wuncler, the episode's rich entrepreneur, is reaping the rewards of the neighborhood's decline in the form of decreased property values. Before we conclude, I wanted to shout out our sponsor of this video, This Riz Entertainment. This Riz Entertainment LLC is an upcoming cinematic editing company that specializes in capturing high quality, realistic, and abstract images through a camera lens. Public service announcements, music videos, documentaries, web episodes, short films, commercials, and feature films, just to name a few. You can find them here on YouTube with multiple channels. This Riz TV Media Gaming channel, This Riz Entertainment Cinematic channel, and in the works, the This Riz Cinematic Reviews channel. After this video, please take a look at these channels. You might see something you like. Hit the like and subscribe buttons if you're feeling fancy. Now back to the review. This episode was funny and I will watch it again because I am a BoonDocks fan. But I rate this episode a 9 out of 10, and it was hilariously funny.
You got a problem with that, nigga?
It's sad how in every urban community in America, you can buy the most unhealthy foods on whatever corner, and no one seems to care, let alone protest to have the unfit restaurants removed due to lack of funding and money. So the cycle continues, and this is looked at as a norm. Now, I grew up in the hood, the south side of Chicago, to be exact. In Inglewood, we had, and I'm pretty sure that they still have to this day, delicious, unhealthy food damn near on every corner. One thing that stood out to me was that we only had a few McDonald's on every corner, but if you wanted a bucket of grease, Inglewood got you covered. Harold's Chicken Shacks, Baba's Steak, and Lemonade to Church's Chicken. And you can't forget about Shark's Fish and Chicken. Just to name a few, a bucket of grease coming your way, hot and fresh. Shit, this episode got me hungry. That Harold's is looking fire. Back to the BoonDocks. The area surrounding Meadowlark Park in Woodcrest is, at first seems, a nice, middle-class neighborhood. Tragically, the neighborhood rapidly degrades into a ghetto of poverty and white predominance as a result of the Itis. The soul food makes people sluggish and overweight, which leads to them losing their jobs and eventually becoming homeless when they resort to muggings to fund their habit. In addition, due to the extreme crime rate, the police and emergency services no longer risk going to the restaurant at night. As a result, Robert refuses to close his restaurant despite the fact that the community as a whole is becoming too lethargic, fat, and animalistic as a result of the soul food. Ed Wuncler steps in to tell Robert that he made a mistake by opening the Itis. The whole thing was Ed's evil plot to drive down property values and acquire Meadowlark Park at a discount. This is the main plot to keep the poor areas in America poor and cripple the urban areas to prevent an uprising. Another damn shame is that in order to buy healthy foods, you have to travel at the least 15 to 20 minutes outside the hood just to get a healthy meal, and that's by car. If you're on foot, you might as well say fuck it and walk and grab that box of grease, ultimately ending up with the Itis. In the comments, tell me what foods you eat to stay healthy, and if you do eat a heavy meal, what do you do to prevent catching the Itis? That'd be much appreciated. Also, I would like to thank all of the new subscribers. Over the last month and a half, we currently have over 2,990 subscribers. Thank you all. Feel free to comment in the box and tell us what part of the world you are from. Thank y'all for liking the content. This motivates us to make more videos like this one here. Please be sure to smash that like button, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure your post notifications are turned on. If you made it to this part of the video, let me know what your favorite part of the video was. Also, what are you all looking forward to in future episodes? I'll be sure to answer that in the next video. I'd like to hear your thoughts on if I missed the mark on this video and other points I should have brought out in this review here. share this video. I was told that it helps out the algorithm. We are trying to get our views up. We are asking for 200 likes to help take this channel to the next level. New review videos every Saturday and Sunday for more episodes. Enable alerts for this channel so you don't miss anything. If you enjoyed this video, click here for all of my affiliate channels and click here for what BoonDocks video might interest you next. Thanks for watching, take care, and we will see you in the next one.